Welcome back to Decked Out.
On today's episode, we are joined by Maldhound and AirballMTG for a pet deck episode. Each person has brought their favorite special brew to show off to you.
As always, thank you to our channel sponsors, Coolstuffinc, EDHRec, and Ultimate Card.
And to today's episode sponsor, Zaximus Studios and their new Kickstarter. But we'll show you guys more on all of these sponsors later in the episode.
All right, let's meet the players.
Hi everyone, I'm Maldhound, judge and jury of all things smashable and passable in Magic the Gathering on TikTok and YouTube. Today, I'm going to be playing Niv Mizzet Perrin, a lovely little dragon who has exactly two major goals in life. Touch every single card in my deck and prevent you from resolving any of your fun ones. Fun fact, this is actually one of the earliest decks I ever built to play with my friends when they were getting me back into Magic. It's been a really long time since I've gotten to play it with them or that they've texted me back, actually. It's kind of weird.
Hello everybody, I'm MTGNerdGirl, and today for our pet decks, I brought Lathril, Blade of the Elves. I picked this commander because she makes a lot of elves, and I've always had a soft spot for them. One of my first decks as a child, so today I get to make a ton of them and hit all of my opponents for 10 by just tapping them.
Hi everyone, I'm AirballMTG, and I make Pioneer content and bad jokes. And that's why today I've enlisted the help of Blim, comedic genius. We're going to be sharing some laughs and some pretty bad permanents with my opponents. I'm going to be sending them slightly used demonic pacts, or I'm going to be reanimating Phage the Untouchable under their control with Endless Whispers. And I'm going to be living on the knife's edge because all of those things can hurt me if I can't give them away. We'll see what happens.
I'm Veggiewagonyee, and you already know what I'm going to be playing. Rocco Cabaretti Caterer, and we're going to be using it to tutor out Tempting Worm as fast as possible. Yes, this is the deck that I played on the very first episode of Decked Out, but it's gotten some significant upgrades. But the game plan is still the same. My opponents dump their hand onto the board, and then we're going to use effects like Mass Mutiny and Taunt from the Rampart to get them to fight each other. Easy as that.
Today's episode sponsor is Zaximus Studios, and today we are showing off their brand new Kickstarter for Magic the Gathering that includes 24 exclusive tokens.
And look at them. Premium quality, double-sided with a velvety laminate finish. Ooh.
And as a special bonus, each one of these Kickstarters include a content creator feature, which this time around, it is me. So you guys can pick up a night token featuring me and Hammy.
I can't wait to sacrifice my brand new MTGNerdGirl tokens, but that's all for now. Let's get into the game.
Welcome to the table. Let's see who goes first. Finally, maybe?
Okay.
Oh my God.
Hey, Veggie on top.
Man, that's too bad. A 17 wasn't first.
I think I've gone first once in 20 episodes, Veggie.
All right. Oh, wait, I'm going last.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm going to draw my card. I'm going to drop this Copperline Gorge and tap it for an Elvish Mystic and pass a turn.
Wow, I don't have a mana dork. Kind of. But Veggie does. I can't let that stand. All right, so let's go Forest. And I'm going to play an Elvish Pioneer. 1/1, when it comes into play, I may put a basic land card from my hand onto the battlefield tapped. So I kind of have a mana dork.
Yeah.
I'll pass.
Yeah, it's funny, it felt like Pioneer seeing turn 1 Elvish Mystic.
This is already an uncomfortably large number of elves at this table for me.
Like, none will come over here. I might steal them.
Okay.
I'll play this turn 1 Swamp into a Despotic Scepter. Tap to destroy target permanent that you own.
Huh?
What the heck is happening?
I want to play a tap land because I thought we were playing fair, honest Magic, and I'm going to pass. Go ahead.
That's
Go
too
ahead,
bad
elf
nobody
man.
told you. I'm going to play this Brush land. I'm going to tap 2 and play a Thornscape Familiar. It's a 2/1 red and white spells I play cost 1 less. And you know what? There's only one player here that played a tap land on their first turn, so they're going to take 1 damage.
Wow. Bruh.
I'll pass the turn.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
No, decisions have been made. Lines have been drawn.
I'm going to play an Overgrown Tomb. I will shock it in, unfortunately. And I'm going to play Rishkar Pima Renegade. 2/2. When it comes into play, I can put a +1/+1 counter on up to 2 creatures. Each of them can tap for mana.
Is that 5 mana you have on next turn, obviously, but is that 5 mana you have access to?
I have no idea what you're talking about. And then I'm going to go ahead and tap for 1, and I'm going to play a Wirewood Symbiote. Return an elf I control to its owner's hand, and I can untap an elf to do so.
Okay.
At least I didn't hit anyone.
Oh, yeah, you know what? True.
We're friends.
Teams?
Yes.
Yeah, teams?
I would love to team up with Niv Mizzet, thank you.
I'll play this Swamp for turn, and I'll play Night's Whisper. I'll draw 2, lose 2, and pass.
Oh, it's happening. Oh, pass the turn.
The mind games have begun.
So, I'm gonna do this thing,
Okay.
and I
Well,
need.
you're gonna put something on the stack.
How do you like it, Veggie? He's usually this jerk face.
I'm gonna play this Plains.
Okay, that resolves. They won't let me counter lands yet. I've been writing letters.
I'm gonna cast this Rocco Cabaretti Caterer. X is 2 because reduced by 1.
I'm really proud of that math you did. I'm ever so tentatively going to let you cook. Depending on what you pull, this could irrevocably change our relationship for the rest of both of our lives.
Look, I'm not here to play games. There is only one creature that this will be, and I will tell you before it resolves. This is only going to be a Tempting Worm, Commander All-Star. Get ready to dump your hand onto the battlefield.
Okay.
Tempting Worm. Each of you may put any number of artifact, creature, enchantment, and or land cards from your hand into play. So that is any permanent but battles and planeswalkers.
These are all planeswalkers, I swear to God.
You know what, for you?
They're all illegal planeswalker targets.
Oh my God, look at all of those.
Oh my God. Glizzy.
All right, let's see what we got. Let's go around.
Hang on, I'm not.
Oh, not done.
It's there are some cards in the deck that it's not clear whether I should put them into play or not.
I mean, that's always a yes to me, but
horrible.
While you make your decision, I'm just gonna put this here.
Okay, I've made my call.
I have 2 elves. Nadir, Agent of the Duskanal. Whenever a token I control leaves the battlefield, I can put a +1/+1 counter on it. And when it leaves the battlefield, I make a 1/1 elf for its power.
Yeah, Zoe Duskanel. I love her in New Girl.
Wow.
I'm also putting into play an Azuri Renegade Leader. I can pay 1 and regenerate another elf. I can also pay 5, and elves I control get +3/+3 and trample until end of turn.
Not the universal elf care.
We'll start with the less exciting ones. Good Phyrexian Arena,
No.
Myriad Landscape, Swiftfoot Boots, and most of the cards in my deck, I need to do a little extra work to give them to the opponent. But not this one. We have Captive Audience. This one just enters the battlefield under someone else's control. At the beginning of their upkeep, choose one that hasn't been chosen. They get to choose. Their life total can become 4. They can discard their hand, or they can give each opponent 5 2/2 black zombies. The problem with Captive Audience coming down on turn 2 is that I don't know who's the threat yet, but I do know that Maldhound has playing blue, and that can cause me serious problems, so I'm going to send it his way. Since I'm not sure anything's going to resolve for the rest of the game, I'm going to hand this to Niv and put a bit of a clock on him.
I will remember this.
Oh yeah, it's right there. It's gonna be hard to forget.
I will remember that too. First, Archmage Emeritus, who lets me draw cards whenever I cast or copy things. Midnight Clock, which is going to give me mana, and we'll put a different clock on the game. Edgin, the Larcenous Lutenist, aka Chris Pine is handsome. Everything in my hand gets Foretell when I cast my second spell each turn, which, oh boy, I don't know how I would do that. I get to goad one of your creatures. And then there is Najal the Stormrunner. Sorcery spells have flash now, and if they attack, I can pay 2 and I get to copy the next thing I cast, and then a non-tapped land.
A nice clean worm. You'll love to see it.
Hate those dirty worms.
No dirty worms here. I'm gonna go to combat, and Airball, you don't play any creatures, so I'll at least get in for 2.
I think that's fair.
Now pass the turn. Enjoy, everybody.
I hate Worm. Even when it makes me win, I hate it. Because it makes Magic so much more complicated. All right, well, I came here to do the thing. So I'm going to go ahead and just cast my commander, Lathril, Blade of the Elves. Lathril's a 2/3 with Menace. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 Elf Warrior creature tokens. I can also tap it and 10 untapped elves to do 10 damage to each opponent.
Yeah, we're going to have some responses about that.
Oh, come on.
Well,
Yes.
listen, hey,
Yes.
listen. Listen.
So I put all my elves into play.
Uh-huh. And there's too many of them.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4, I got 5.
I support this.
I'm going to tap Midnight Clock for a blue. Tap a mountain. I'm going to play Impulse. I'm going to get a Emeritus trigger to draw a card. That's not what I needed. I get to look at the top 4 cards in my library, put 1 in my hand and the rest on the bottom.
I'm putting Pleading on the stack.
Sure. It'll resolve.
No.
I definitely drew a counterspell and I'm choosing not to use it because I'm merciful.
Airball, you still kind of scare me. So we're gonna come in,
I'm killing myself.
but you're gonna give us mean things, and I want to be able to kill you so that way I can make mean things go away if need be. So I need to put you within range of killing you. So that is gonna mean 6 damage.
Okay.
You see what happens when you're the person that wants to do the dumb thing that's bad for you? You still get hit.
Well, if I go away, then so does the captive audience. So remember that. All right, upkeep. Phyrexian Arena triggers. I'll draw a card, and then I'll draw my card for turn. I'll play this Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth. You guys all have swamps now. Congratulations.
Whatever.
And I'll pass the turn.
In my upkeep, Midnight Clock is going to tick up, and the first captive audience trigger is going to go up. I'm going to choose to discard my hand, but before I resolve that, I'm going to foretell 2 cards from my hand. So with Edgin's ability. So that's going to be exiled face down. That's going to be exiled face down. And I will just discard this Talrand Sky Summoner. Who likes merfolk anyway? They're just wet elves. And then I will move to my draw step. Thank you, God. And then, oh, Yugi is with us today. Okay, I'm going to play the Siobhan Reef. So I'm going to smack you in the face for 10.
Yeah, that's sensible.
And then I can't pay the 2 for Najal. Don't have any other damage triggers. So from there, I will pass the turn.
I will untap. I will draw my card. Something tells me I'm not going to have these cards for very long.
That's not true. I don't know what would tell you that.
I'm going to play this Battlefield Forge.
Okay. Don't get priority off a land. That's fine. Keep going.
Yep.
You got it, King.
I'm just going until we're safe here. I'm going to tap 3, and I'm going to cast Sculpting Steel. This enters as a copy of any artifact on the battlefield. I would like my own clock.
Well, before we get to anything
yeah.
crazy, before we get anything crazy, like things entering the battlefield,
Right.
I'm going to take 1 damage tapping the Siobhan Reef for blue, and I'm going to cast Windfall with Flash because of Najal. And so we're all going to dump our hands. And then I believe you're on 4 now.
I am on 4.
We're all going to draw 4 since you have the most cards.
I'm going to pay 2 for Nature's Lore. I'm going to search for a forest and put it into play. I'm going to grab this Canopy Vista. And who's looking to get hit?
I am dead in one orbit.
Just
if people
regular
decide
stuff.
to kill me.
Regular
No.
stuff.
I like what's going on right there.
No, you
there.
don't. No, you don't.
So
Say psych right now.
you know what? I'm good here. I'm gonna pass the turn. I have nothing to worry about. Life is good.
I'm going to tap 1 and 1. We're going to play an Elvish Visionary. When it enters the battlefield, I get to draw a card. And then I'm going to use Wirewood Symbiote's ability to return Elvish Visionary to my hand and untap my Mana Dork. And then I'll just run it back and cast Elvish Visionary one more time.
We were making fun of blue? Is that what's happening? We were making fun of blue? Oh, draw too many cards.
And I'm going to draw this.
Well, deal with it.
Oh, blue is tapped out. Fantastic. Lightning Greaves. That was a great draw. I'm going to put some booties on my girl.
It's okay. I'm going to draw my outs because I'm a good Magic player.
Yay for boots.
Oh, you have a fascinating decision next turn. I just realized in the context of this combat, you have to either give us zombies, in which case I can block your stuff and not die, or you have to put yourself to 4 and leave yourself dead to one of these 2.
I don't know if that's an interesting decision, but yes, I do have a decision to make. Yes.
Well, I'll help you make the decision, and I'll swing for 8 to Niv Mizzet.
Okay. Sad glizzy noises.
And that'll do it for me. I will pass turn.
End step, I'll crack the landscape. These 2 mountain swamps will enter battle. Upkeep, Phyrexian Arena will trigger, and some other things will happen too.
I'm gonna get a clock counter or whatever it is.
Play this Smoldering Marsh. We'll tap 2 mana for a Mind Stone, and then we'll tap 5 mana for an Overloaded Vandal Blast. And we'll destroy all artifacts that I don't control.
Oh, you are the worst.
No.
Oh, you are just... Okay.
Wait, my boots.
Yeah.
This was a terrorist attack on London. Big Ben is dead now.
I know.
And Big Ben
stopped
too.
Yeah,
I stopped Guy Fawkes. I should be celebrated as a hero. And that'll be it for my turn. I'll pass.
We're going to go to upkeep. This trigger is going to happen, but thankfully, because I have Najal, everything's instant speed, and I'm going to be able to enter Is It Player Nirvana and touch as many cards as possible before I have to make this choice. So it's going to be colorless, colorless, and then 2 red. I'm going to discard Expressive Iteration from my hand as the cost to cast Unexpected Windfall. I'm going to get my Emeritus trigger and draw a card. I'm going to make 2 treasure tokens. I'm going to draw 2 more. We're still just in my frickin' upkeep. Then I'm gonna crack one of these treasures.
Before you crack that treasure, so I'm gonna take priority right now to say that I think you're the first person in the history of the show to not say anything about the Hammy treasure token, which is how I know that you're a
monster.
bad person inside.
It's cute. Listen, it's cute. My life is on the line.
No, you can't.
My life is on the line right now.
There's no saving it.
Hammy cares not for your life.
There's nothing behind those eyes. Just dead.
Nothing behind these eyes but cards and sadness right now. Then we're gonna crack a treasure. Get wrecked, Hammy. For blue to cast an Opt, which is gonna give us another Emeritus trigger. And then we're gonna get to scry 1. That's going to bottom. So it's not the only answer. And then we're going to draw a card. Okay, I'm still sad. We are going to crack our final treasure. Goodbye forever, Hammy. To preordain, we're going to get another Emeritus trigger. That's still not the answer. We're going to scry 2 and then draw a card. Where is it? Please.
The whole thing's Is It?
1.
So you can scoop at instant speed.
Don't worry. Now I have to make the choice. I'm gonna give everybody the zombies. So everybody else gets 5 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. I am also gonna say, because I get a Edgin trigger since I cast 2 spells that turn, I'm gonna send the Tempting Worm at somebody that's not me because it's a 5/5. Go into main phase 1. The turn has begun, everyone. Pass.
Island go after all that?
I took a whole turn at instant speed. I didn't get the thing. It's like 2 things in the whole deck that can solve this right now. Neither of them are in any of those cards I just played.
Should have drawn more cards. I'm gonna untap and draw on my card. This all seems too clear, so we're gonna mix some things up. I'm gonna pay 3 and cast Naya Charm. I can either deal 3 damage to target creature, return target card from a graveyard to its owner's hand, or tap all creatures target player controls. Nerdgirl, I'd like to tap all of your creatures.
I'm going to float a mana,
Okay.
and then I will tap my creatures.
I'm going to send 5 zombies, a Thornscape Familiar, a Goated Tempting Worm, and Rocco at you. That is a total of 10, 15, 20 damage.
20 damage is kind of a lot.
And the Tempting Worm is commander, right?
Yes.
I'm going to use the Wirewood Symbiote's ability to bounce the Mystic to untap just 1 zombie.
Sure.
And I'm going to attempt to block this idiot with it.
Yeah.
So I'll take 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then these will trade.
Yep. Easy as that. That's it. Pass the turn.
I think I'm going to be your friend.
Okay. We can teams?
I think we might be teams.
Teams. Okay, teams.
Wirewood Lodge for turn. It's a land that lets me either make colorless or I can pay green and tap it to untap an elf. Does Veggie have fog in that deck?
No. I can tell you definitively I do not have the card Fog in my deck.
Wow.
It's only 21 damage. It's not that
Is this
much.
a Borborygmos kind of thing?
Fog enraged.
Fog, but bigger.
So you're like pretty not good spot, right?
Horrible, yeah. So I'm going to 4 next upkeep no matter what. I'm going to be repeating my desperate...
And what happens on the next, like when you run out of options?
I don't have to choose anything after that, but it's just that between all of you, like every board has more creatures than mine. So really what I'm doing is I'm digging for a board wipe. If I don't find a board wipe, anybody who swings on me after that is definitionally going to get 2 or more damage through,
yeah,
or 4 or more through, and I'll die.
So I'm going to make a deal that the blue player will never ever want to make in your entire life.
Okay.
If you don't ever counter any of my spells, I'll remove it for you.
Wow.
Excellent.
I never thought I would see the day where I would turn on a fellow comedian to make a deal with an elf player, but I was one upkeep away from being at 4 life, people. Desperate actions had to be taken. I gotta do what I gotta do.
So we're going to start with a Masked Vandal, and I will exile a creature out of my graveyard to destroy the enchantment with the Masked Vandal's ability.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it.
It was, it was super cool. And at least there's not still 50 damage on the board. Blue's not just about counters, which is what I'm going to conclusively prove in this game is we're not just about counters. We're about touching cards, about bouncing things.
And losing the game.
No, shut up. Not yet.
And let's go ahead and also, for good measure, play a Skemfar Avenger. Whenever another non-token elf I control dies, I can draw a card and lose a life. Let's come in for some damage, Veggie. 11.
11? That's it?
Just some baby damage.
You'll take some baby damage.
That's
Easy.
it.
Okay, so Phyrexian Arena will trigger on my upkeep. I'll draw a card. And I'll draw my card for turn. I'll tap 5 mana and attempt to resolve Mana Geyser. Mana Geyser says that I add 1 red mana to my pool for each tapped land my opponents control. Currently, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, it sure does. That will go through. You will add your manas.
Yeah, this seems fun.
We're going to use 3 of it, down to 8, and a black, to cast Blim, Comedic Genius. When he deals combat damage to a player, I get to gift that player a permanent. And then every player loses life and discards cards equal to the number of permanents they control but don't own.
He looks like Danny DeVito got dropped in a vat of Taco Bell Diablo sauce.
What the is that statement?
Am I wrong?
Look at him. That was the art prompt. That was
Can I offer you a terrible taco in these trying times?
Yeah.
Use 1 of the floating mana to suit Blim up with the Swifty Boots. Does that resolve?
Yes, he has his Tims on.
All right. We'll tap 1 black and 3 more down to 4 mana here. And I will cast Oath of Limb Dull. For each 1 damage dealt to you or 1 life you lose, sacrifice a permanent you control, or choose and discard a card from your hand. You can't sacrifice Oath of Limb Dull this way, and you can pay 2 black to draw a card.
It's got that Yu-Gi-Oh text box. What?
You get hit, every damage you take, sacrifice a permanent or discard a card, except this. I'm going to use 2 of the remaining red mana and let the rest go to waste. I'm going to play this Rakdos Signet.
Blim flies?
Sure does.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Not only does he flies at you.
I can do nothing about it.
Great. So Blim's going to connect, and 2 things are going to happen. I'm going to gift you Oath of Limdol. Merry Christmas. And then everyone is going to lose life and discard cards equal to the number of permanents they control and don't own. That I think is just 1 for now. So you'll lose 1 life and discard a card. And now that Oath of Limdol is in your possession, and you lost 1 life that it saw, you're going to have to sacrifice a permanent or discard another card.
I'll sack a permanent.
Okay.
Goodbye, zombie. Thankfully, I have enough blockers to where I should be able to avoid taking a ton of damage to prevent this Oath of Limdol from doing any real damage. It's not great, but I think we can work with it.
And that'll be it for my turn.
I am going to, for the first time this game, I might add untap in a state that isn't absolute panic. Command Tower, Island, Chivalry for colorless, just to make it really hard to get to all my remaining lands for this Relic of Legends. And from there, I'm going to tap Relic of Legends. I'm going to tap this mountain. I'm going to tap this island for 3 mana to attempt to play Frantic Search. Now, this is going to give me an Emeritus trigger before any responses. I'm assuming none of you have anything to say about me touching more cards.
I will not counter that spell.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards. I'm going to discard Wizard Class, which is a touch cards enchantment. I'm going to discard a mountain because I am already breaded. And then I will get to untap up to 3 lands. I'm going to go, not Rocco, because you actually want him back. I'm going to go with your Elvish Mystic.
Great, I'm going to use it for mana.
It stands. I can't read. It's not my fault.
Words are hard.
See, my cards, the pictures tell you what they do. He's holding a staff. Obviously, that means he draw cards. He's holding a knife, draw cards. They're all red, blue. They all just draw cards.
He an elf, he tap for mana.
Shameful.
Danny DeVito. creates chaos.
Yeah. It appears I am outnumbered, so I'm not going to swing. And I'm just going to pass the turn with 5 mana open. So do with that what you will.
You can swing at Veggie.
Thank you. I could incite the rage of the Naya player. So I'm just going to pass for now.
That sounds like a good idea.
But then if he swings at you, then he'll die to me.
Look, you know that doesn't stop
sorry.
me.
Am I supposed to believe that he's going to play optimally and miss the chance to kill the Niv Mizzet player before Niv resolves?
I'm going to pay 3 for Ghostly Prison. What it would do on the battlefield were it to make it there is it would make it so creatures can't attack me unless their controller pays 2 for each creature they control that is attacking.
I do need to not get a fade ran on me by 30 permanents from those two. You see, I'm playing with the blockers that were actually in my deck and not a small loan of 1 million zombies from another player who got an enchantment put on them. So like I have some additional weighing and balancing of the scales.
I think this is just propaganda.
So many levels to that joke that I'm going to have a heart attack.
It was like 1 because
There's really
there's
only
another
one.
card that
Yeah.
does this effect. It's called propaganda.
And you can't use your counters on me anyways. You might as well use them.
That is true. I am going to tap 1 colorless, 1 blue, and 1 blue, and I'm going to Dream Fracture, countering your spell, but you get to draw a card.
Yeah, also, are you kidding? Don't let me resolve this.
Yeah. And then I get to draw off Emeritus, and I also get to draw off Dream Fracture.
So now you are going to attack me, it looks like, with Rocco because you want to replay it, it sounds like. Okay.
Witness me.
That's for you.
I will block with Masked Vandal. I will return Masked Vandal to my hand using my Symbiote to untap this.
That was actually nasty.
Wirewood Symbiote is doing work. So much value. Extra mana, extra card draw. It does it all.
I'm going to just play this Llanowar Elves and pass the turn.
So let's just go ahead and start by putting a swamp out there. I'm also going to exile the Heart Warden to replay my Masked Vandal, and we're going to target the Swiftfoot Boots.
Sure.
Oh, God.
There goes my Phage out.
I'm also going to go ahead and play a Poison-Tipped Archer. It's a 2/3 with Reach and Death Touch. Whenever another creature I control dies, each opponent loses a life. I will go ahead and just also tap an elf and 1, and we're going to just play the Elvish Visionary to draw a card. And unfortunately, that's all I can do.
I am not going to destroy the Phyrexian Arena in that case. It will trigger, I'll draw, and I'll draw the card for turn. So I will pay 1 to crack this Mind Stone. I am limited in my options. However, which of the two of you do you think is the most likely to find an answer to this?
I haven't done literal anything. I have no intention of attacking anybody.
Literal nothing. This is.
I do not intend to attack anybody.
Let me pour some sugar on you. I think
Please.
that Veggie's going to tell you that it's him. I think Veggie's the most likely to find an answer to NerdGirl getting him. I'm the most likely to find an answer to NerdGirl getting all of us.
Why do you ask?
This is the last time I
Because-
save the Niv Mizzet player.
So the reason I ask is because Blim is not a Meh. I need to attack if I'm going to drain NerdGirl with the Oath. This Phyrexian Arena is causing me nothing but problems at this point. I would like to give someone the option to draw cards off of it.
Great.
And I want that to be the person who's most likely to solve the problem. I don't feel like we need more card draw over here. So I'm going to swing at you if that's okay.
I see no problem with that.
Okay. Blim's coming in at you.
No blocks.
All right, so he'll deal 4 damage to your face. You'll get a Phyrexian Arena, and then each player will lose life and discard cards equal to the permanents they control and don't own.
I will discard a card.
Oath of Limdol will trigger, and you'll have to discard or sacrifice a permanent.
I will sack a zombie and get a counter onto my Nadir.
I will also have to discard this Chaos Warp.
That is fascinating.
Who needs removal?
What could possibly be that other card? Post-combat, we'll just play a Talisman of Indulgence and pass.
Time for the funny things to start. So we're going to tap 2 red, 2 blue, another red, another blue. Glizzy. Niv Mizzet is on the battlefield. Here we go. So that's my first spell this turn. In the interest of goading things, I'm going to tap the Siobhan Reef for 1 colorless mana, and I'm going to play the Elixir of Immortality, which I can crack for 2 to gain life and just shuffle my graveyard into the library. Basically, it's my out if I get a little too silly and touch too many cards at once. But now that I've cast my second spell, I get to goad something. I'm going to goad your Tempting Worm, since you pulled a funny on me when I tried to do it to the elf. Pass the turn, letting it be known I still have access to 4 mana, so don't get froggy.
Okay, I'm going to lose a life and draw a card to this Phyrexian Arena that I have. Thanks. Got it. As we know, it does not take much to tempt me into a very bad decision, and I just drew one. So how many cards does everybody have in hand?
0.
I have 5.
Oh, that would not be a good idea.
You have a wheel?
If you Wheel of Misfortune, I'm liable to just put down 30 and kill myself on the spot. That's how badly I want to touch some more cards right now.
I'm going to play Spectator Seating as my land for turn. I'm going to tap 4 and cast Touch the Spirit Realm. When it enters the battlefield, were it to do so, it would exile up to 1 target artifact or creature until it leaves the battlefield. I was very tempted to channel this to Blink Tempting Worm.
I would have respected that. Obviously, you could lie. Is that coming my way? Coming my way? Is it gonna touch up on my?
Look,
touch up on my boy.
I won't lie in a game of Commander. I also won't answer your question, but I will say, if you look at the board and you were to pick a single target, that is a problem. What would that target be?
True. I will let it enter the battlefield, and then we'll see what happens.
All right, let's see what you got.
All right.
It's going to target Niv Mizzet.
Okay, so in response, we're going to tap 1 mana. I'm going to tap...
I'm going to touch things.
Oh, boy. So 1 and a blue. I'm going to reveal the thing I exiled at the very beginning, which is Behold the Multiverse. It's scry 2, then draw 2. I'm going to get a Niv trigger and an Emeritus trigger, so that's going to be 2 cards into my hand. The first point of damage is going towards your Llanowar Elves. The second point of damage is going towards your Elvis Mystic.
I'll float 2 green mana.
All right, float 2 green mana like a winner. So these 2 cards are just in handoff triggers. Now I'm going to scry 2 and then draw 2. Bottom both. The glizzying continues. All right, then I'm going to tap Najal the Stormrunner for a red mana. I'm going to play Faithless Looting. I get another Niv trigger, another Emeritus trigger. So those 2 cards are in hand now. I'm going to dump... Shut your mouth. I'm going to put 2 into your face, Veggie. And then I'm going to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards.
I can't shut my mouth if you put damage into it.
Oh, you've got me there. I'm going to discard 2 islands because, like I said before, I am breaded. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Niv is going to go into exile. I will choose to put them into the glizzy zone, or the command zone, as some of you call it.
Amazing. Amazing. Everyone here is a threat in some way or another, but NerdGirl's got it all on the table. I have to take her out before she can untap and deal 10 damage to the table and put me in a terrible spot. I'm going to use this 2 green mana and 2 to cast Master Warcraft. I must cast this only before attackers are declared. I choose which creatures attack this turn. I choose which creatures block this turn and how they block.
How much damage do you have on board? 10, 15, enough to kill me.
I have 18 damage on the board.
So I could just be dead.
God, I just wanted... Boros, such an honest color combo.
Am I dead?
I'm going to go to combat. I'm going to send 15 your way, and I'm going to swing Rocco at Maldhound. No.
He gets to choose who blocks.
Oh, you choose who blocks. That's true.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at that. Look at
Archmage
how we're
Emeritus.
enemies forever now.
Yeah.
That's fair. You got it. Yeah. You got it. Yeah.
And you're going to choose no blocks for me?
I'm going to choose no blocks for you.
All right, well, so this card specifies when it leaves play. It says nothing about dying. So I'm going to choose to bounce it to my hand and make 5 elf tokens. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other elves and Lathriel. I will tap those elves to deal 10 damage to all of my opponents. I will scoop up my cards.
It was at this
If your opponent dies and they are in control of one of your permanents, if you were the one who put that permanent into play, you get it back.
Oh no.
I am now passing to my end step.
All right. That's funny. If I pain myself off the talisman, then I have to sack a permanent.
Yep.
We'll start with this. We'll pay 2 to draw a card off the Oath of Limdol. I will pain myself to make 2 more black and draw again. The Oath will trigger, and I'm going to sacrifice this Despotic Scepter. And I'll draw my card for the Oath. And we'll go to untap. We'll draw off the Oath. I'll play this Swamp for turn. We'll draw off the Oath. I am going to swing Blim and 3 of the Zambies at Maldhound.
Okay, so that's going to be 10 total damage
Yes.
before all the, and then obviously Blim moment is going to
Yes.
happen.
So Blim's going to trigger. You're going to get an Oath, and each of you will lose 1 life and discard a card.
And discard the stupid tap land. And then I'll lose a life and I'll get oathed on.
Yes.
And I will discard another land. So at this point, what are they even doing?
Gonna discard this Dawn Charm.
I will pay 4 in my post-combat main phase, and I'll play Karn the Betrayer. He has Berserker. He attacks or blocks each combat if able. When I lose control of him, I draw 2. And if damage will be dealt to him, then prevent that damage, and an opponent of my choice gains control of it instead. And that will be it for my turn. I'll pass. I have 2 lands in my hand that can exile opponents' graveyards. That might not sound like much, but there are 2 cards in my deck that say when your graveyard is empty, you lose the game. I only have 2 opponents. If I can find a tutor, I think we're in great shape.
I really want to just recast Niv Mizzet, but I will lose the game for it. So I'm going to resist the urge. And tap a red and tap a blue. I'm going to play the Goblin Electromancer. So it's just a light tax fraud. Just a little light tax fraud is happening right now. Then I'm going to tap 1 colorless, 1 to 2, and then a blue to cast the Chemister's Insight, which is at its cost reduced by 1 by my little Gobby boy. So that's going to be draw 2. I do get an Edgin trigger here. I'm going to goad Blim.
Sure.
From there, I'm going to pass the turn to Veggie with the knowledge that if he untaps, you're getting blimmed on.
Phyrexian Arena. I lose life. I draw a card. I'm going to play Forest. And then I don't really have much else to do here. So I'm going to pay all of it 7 mana to recast Rocco
Okay.
with X equal to 2.
Are there targets in the deck for that?
I don't remember because I honestly don't usually cast him twice.
I'm going to allow this to happen
Okay.
because I think you understand that if you swing out on me, you will get crackbacked for lethal by Blim.
Yes. Thank you for telling me that. Now I understand this. I'm going to find this little guy. It's a Spore Frog.
That's the fog.
Oh my
That's the fog.
I kind of thought that's what you were going to get.
For sure somebody's getting swung on. So...
God. This board, bro, what are you talking about? Hey, my man. Listen to me.
Oh, hit me with my man. This is for you.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you're more likely to be able to beat me.
Yes.
But
Okay,
Yes.
so here's how we're gonna resolve everything. I'm going to block the Tempting Worm with Goblin Electromancer, but before that, before we move to damage,
Okay.
I'm going to pay 3 and discard a mountain from my hand to recast Chemister's Insight, which is gonna allow me to draw 2 cards as a jumpstart cost of discard, and you get to recast that joint. So I'm gonna draw 2 more cards. My man. Relic and Edgin to pay the 2 mana to crack Elixir of Immortality, gaining me the 5 life necessary to live through the swing, but then I'm pretty sure I'm going to be sacrificing my entire board. Yeah, I'll just declare Edgin and Najal as blockers for the individual zombies, so we'll only take 6. Edgin's still going to tap for the Relic. So I'll go up to 14. We're going to shuffle everything except the exiled cards into my library. And then I'm going to take 6 from your remaining zombies,
That's
which
right.
means I discard or sack 6 things, correct?
correct.
So I'm going to do those discards and sacks, and then I'm going to shuffle. So the Electromancer dies to combat damage. Edkin doesn't die to combat damage. Discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I will sack this land for 6, and I will go down to 8.
Excellent. I'll pass the turn.
I'm going to tap 4 and cast Kolfinor's Plans. When it ETBs, remove the top 7 cards of your library from the game face down. You can look at and play cards exiled from the game with the plans. You skip your draw step, and you can't play more than 1 spell each turn.
Oh no, after 7 turns or so, he's going to be all out of options.
But you also can't cast another spell this turn, right?
Right. As long as I control Kolfinor's Plans, that is. I'll go to combat. I'll swing with the Goaded Blim at Veggie, because I have no choice. And I'll swing Karn and 2 zombies at Maldhound.
I would like for you to take this damage. I would not like for
You
me
would,
to take this
but
damage.
if you take this damage, you're going to lose.
Yeah, because I'll take 4 from Blim, an additional 2 if I get a permanent. We're popping the frog.
Gross.
Frog moment.
Okay, then I can't cast any more spells this turn, so I'll pass.
Okay. Like 8 mana and a dream. I'm going to tap these 2 swamps to draw a card off the Oath of Limdol. Oh God, what do I do? You just both have so many creatures. Not
There's
fair.
only 1 here.
I'm gonna tap 2 more swamps, and this is where I draw my out because I'm a professional. I hate it here. Pass the turn.
Oh. Okay. Phyrexian Arena. I will lose a life. I will draw a card. Do you need to have that card to be able to play those cards?
Yes.
Does the
plan is
owner of
firm.
that card get to play those cards?
The controller of that card, not the owner specifically.
Sorry,
yeah.
yes, the controller. Yeah, because the whole thing is, do you have an answer in that stack?
I'm so afraid.
I'm going to tap 5 for Mass Mutiny. For each opponent, gain control of up to 1 target creature that player controls until end of turn. Untap those creatures. They gain haste. I'm going to target Blim and Najal.
Well, in response, I'm going to tap 2 blue and a red, and I'm going to play Counterflux, which cannot be countered by spells or abilities. Counter target spell you don't control.
Yikes.
So I'm going to counter Mass Mutiny.
Finally, Veggie knows what it's like when people don't let them have any fun. It makes me happy.
If I kill it,
I like how this is starting.
you give me 1 turn.
What does giving you 1 turn involve?
You do not kill me on your turn.
Okay.
You're going to trust a Rakdos player right now? You're going to trust a Rakdos player?
I don't know. Can you do me better?
I mean, I can swearsies, realsies, I won't kill you on the turn, and none of my stuff has to attack.
Okay, then that's my decision. Airball.
Yes.
These creatures are going to Maldhound.
All right.
That's fantastic news. I have no response.
There is exactly 1 card in this deck that can save the game right now, and I can still tap for black mana. So I'm going to tap this Swamp, and I'm going to tap this Relic of Legends, and I'm going to see if this is the card I've dug for so long. That is not the answer, so I will just die. It's not it. I'll block the worm with Najal so that you lose it, and I'll block one of the zombies with Edgin, just so that you lose creatures and we'll lose to Airball.
Okay.
So you take 7.
Then I have to discard and sack 7.
I'll pass the turn.
It's chilling that you chose to sack lands instead of discard some of the cards in your hand. All right, I'll untap.
I do want to point out that putting Veggie to 1 is not killing him on your turn. Just want to say.
That is true.
That's true. That is not in the spirit of the agreement. I will not do that.
It said not kill him on his turn.
That's true, but the action that would kill him would happen on my turn, and I think that is close enough.
No, the trigger would happen on Veggie's turn.
Also, a Rakdos player honoring the spirit of the agreement instead of the letter, that is a flavor fail.
Danny DeVito would never break a deal.
True. Okay.
Maybe if he was high on the Diablo sauce.
Yeah, Phyrexian Danny DeVito absolutely would.
Part of a complete dinner.
I will make you a deal, Airball.
Oh?
If you let me live, I won't kill you, and I will counterspell anything he tries to do.
Forever.
Because what do you think? What do you think I sacked all my lands to hold on to?
That's true. I have something funnier, I think. It's less likely to win me the game,
Okay.
but it is funnier. So I'm going to go to combat. I will swing Karn because I'm required to, at Maldhound, and I will swing the other zombie for good measure at you as well.
I will declare no blockers. And then I take my damage and I will die. You know, I really hope this show has workers' comp because I'm not sure I'm ever going to recover from the whiplash of being allowed to bask in the fraudulent green sunlight of playing all of my permanents for free, only to be shoved into the Rakdos armpit of the death row clock that was captive audience.
I'll take Oath back. I'm going to cast Harmless Offering. Target opponent gains control of target permanent you control. These are yours.
Oh, that's good.
And now you get to cast more spells.
I do. I will play this Bajuka Bog tapped and exile your bin,
Okay.
Goodbye, worm.
and I'll pass the turn.
Okay.
You don't get to draw.
Nope.
Well, I get one off the Phyrexian Arena, so I'll lose one. Such garbage.
Yeah, there was no answer in there after all.
I'm just gonna pay 5. I'm gonna cast Word of Seizing. I'm going to target Blim. This says split second, untap target permanent, and gain control of it until end of turn. It gains haste.
Sure.
Okay. And now I am the comedic genius.
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm gonna go to combat, and I'm gonna swing 4 at you in the air.
Nothing I can do about that.
You're gonna take 4.
Yep.
I'm going to give you back your Phyrexian Arena,
Okay.
and then I believe I take 1
Yes.
and discard
2.
a card.
2, in fact.
2, in fact. Oh, yes. Yes, 2. And I will discard this Magus of the Wheel. Let's see. If you can find an answer before that Phyrexian Arena goes off, then it's yours.
As resident person who had to sack their entire board, you do have to sack or discard 4 things.
That is true. Off of the Blim trigger, and because I'm going to die in my upkeep, I'll discard everything that isn't instant speed from my hand.
Reasonable.
All right. Good luck.
So the first thing I'll do is I'll tap 2 swamps and I'll draw off the Oath. And the second thing I'll do is tap 2 swamps and draw off the Oath. And I will tap to draw 1 more card off of the Oath. None of those help.
All right. I believe it's to your untap.
All right, Phyrexian Arena will trigger, but in response to the trigger, we're going to go through this whole exercise again. We're going to tap 2 swamps, we're going to draw a card. We're going to tap 2 swamps, we're going to draw a card.
Please.
I'm going to tap 2 swamps and draw a card. 1 more. Yeah, and the Phyrexian Arena trigger is just going to have to resolve. I don't have anything I can do.
Worm.
Worm takes the day.
Oh my God.
Moment.
Worm.
I need to get a bigger thing.
Who doesn't?
Some of us don't need a bigger thing. We're comedians to make up for it.
So because I'm the least funny player at the table, does that mean I have the biggest thing?
Yes.
Yes. As much as it pains me to congratulate a green player, I can't help but respect a man who's willing to bet the entire game on his opponent not having the heart of the card. So congrats, Veggie.
I like my board and I look over at this. It looks...
Look, a little bit of failure to launch. That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Today's episode is brought to you by Zaximus Studios. You have until December 23rd to pick up these premium quality double-sided tokens.
And don't forget, you can support the show by picking up the NerdGirl and Hammy add-on token as well. It's a great way to support the channel, and let's help get them to their goal. They're a little over halfway, so let's make sure they hit it.
And then also desperately attempting to glizzy all over Airball.
Again, gross. Turns out playing with a deck that has a bunch of permanents that lose you the game sometimes leads to your permanents losing you the game. But in the end, I died happy as I lived, with Danny DeVito waving a bad taco in my face.
I'm not scared of you. I have chumpers for days.
What was my game plan supposed to be after I play this worm?
I did not spread the ashes of my grandpa onto these cards for nothing.
Coolstuffinc is the best place to pick up anything from sealed product to singles. Make sure to use our brand new code MNG5 for 5% off your order. Can you make those sad glizzy noises for us?
I don't even know what the sad glizzy noises are.
Right.
Ooh. Veggie plays a bunch of counterspells.
And then you kill me.
And then dies. Lathril is a ton of fun to play. I love making elves. I love go wide strategies. This is definitely a deck for me. I'm excited to play this another time on the show.
Daily reminder that ramp is cheating. They'll ban it one day.
Do you need a little deck building inspiration? Make sure you head on over to our sponsor, EDHRec. They are the #1 deck building website, and they have all the synergies to match your budget and style.
I came in with this sheet to cheat and know all of the things that I could tutor for, but I haven't found a tutor yet. So what good is it?
I don't know if you could feel it.
Yep, I did. Yeah, hit me right in the head.
That is exactly the kind of Magic that I want to be playing. Intense negotiations, wild swings, and a very suspenseful ending. And that's a worm win on the books.
We're on Tempting Worms clock. We're not on normal time. We're on like a New York minute right now.
Ultimate Guard is the industry leader in MTG accessories. We love their stuff, and we know you will too. Make sure to use the link in the description so they know we sent you.
What is the sound of a counterspell fizzling?
Sound like a philosophical question?
If a counterspell falls in the forest and no one's around to get countered, does it make a noise?
Is the heart of the cards in the room with us right now?
No.
Oh, good.
We'd like to thank our patrons. Without your support, these episodes simply wouldn't be possible.
And very more possible they could be with you. Helped us. Thank you. Right. For the month of December, we're bringing you weekly gameplay episodes, and we'd like to continue that forever, but we just need your help.
So if you would like to help us unlock those weekly episodes for the rest of the year, make sure you head on over to our Patreon, unlock some exclusive perks like spell table games with us, submit deck lists for us to play here, and even get weekly signed tokens from our guest and cast.
And of course, if you liked the video, click like, and if you really liked it, hit subscribe. That's all for today. We'll see you next time on
Decked Out.